Time for Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero. When it comes to news on 95.1 FM, weather always comes first. Isolated strong to severe thunderstorms could occur today across portions of the southern plains with large hail and gusty winds. A coastal storm is going to bring heavy rainfall and the threat of isolated flash flooding across the mid-Atlantic and northeast. Gusty winds and dry conditions continue the elevated threat for wildfires in the central and southern high plains. Closer to home, deep dry zonal flow today to keep the storm track north, and our conditions dry and mild. Breezy afternoon conditions are possible. Temperatures are going to be slightly cooler today compared to yesterday. Afternoon winds should begin to trend stronger with a breezier afternoon expected, becoming windy tomorrow. We'll have another look at the weather following this news. The Alamogordo Fire Department congratulates Lieutenant William Skaggs on his recent election into the second vice president position for the New Mexico chapter of the International Association of Arson Investigators. In his newly elected position, he's going to continue to head up training for fire investigators across the state of New Mexico. If you missed the convention this past weekend, Republican Party of Otero County Vice Chair Josh Beasley says not to worry because there's another one coming up, and this one is even closer to home.
In April, there will be a convention here in Otero County that will elect our delegation to go to what we call the Quadrennial Convention in Albuquerque, and that is where we will elect our New Mexico delegation to go to the RNC National Convention to vote on the presidential candidate for New Mexico.
Sign up for the Republican Party of Otero County newsletter by visiting the Republican Party of Otero County Facebook page and website. The New Mexico Department of Transportation will have a single-lane closure today near Cloudcroft on US 82 from milepost 6 to milepost 8. I spoke with construction engineer Michael Smelker.
We're going to be going out there this week, and they're going to be flying some drones and doing some studies on rock mitigation. Basically, we're going to do a study that they're going to give us some options on how to assist in the mitigation of the rock falls and the rock stabilization along that corridor.
Drivers can expect a single-lane closure with pilot car operation between the hours of 9 and 3. Oliver Lee Memorial State Park invites you to this Sunday's Gilded Hike to Lawson Springs Trail. We spoke with Kate German.
It's a pretty easy hike. It's just shy of a mile round trip, but you get just enough of a workout to feel like you've accomplished something because it starts out on an old road where it's pretty easy, but then you climb up the foothills and just at the base of the mountains where there's 3 limestone terraces that ooze water periodically year-round.
575-437-8284 for more information. The Tularosa National Honor Society Pancake Breakfast will be taking place on March 16th. We spoke with Melanie Boussier.
So this is National Honor Society's last big fundraiser of the year, and we are hosting our second pancake breakfast of the year. We had a great turnout in October. We'd like to see everybody out again, so we're offering 3 different types of pancakes, plain chocolate chip and blueberry, scrambled eggs, and your choice of sausage or bacon, or if you want a piece of each, go for it, at $10 a plate.
Pickup begins at 7. It wraps up at 9. If you have any questions, call 575-585-8866. The Alamogordo Recreation Center presents Magic the Gathering. Heather Casebolt told me all about it.
So we're about to enter session 3, which starts on March 13th. So registration for 3 and 4 will be open until the 12th of March, and then you have to be registered for session 3 if you want to do session 4, because it's a lot more playing in session 4. So session 3, they're still kind of teaching, and then session 4 will be a lot more playing.
For more information, it's 575-439-4142. Love Inc. is offering free tax filing.
The BETA tax preparation program, that's the volunteer income tax program, and we are in full force with that. We've had people coming every week. That's on Fridays and Saturdays from 10 to 2 at our offices at 1106 Ohio.
Susan Payne speaking with Crazy Radio.
If you are in need of help preparing your taxes, just know that this is a free service, including e-file, and we also do state taxes for free as well.
For more information, call 575-439-4812.
This is Lieutenant William Skaggs with Alamogordo Fire Department. With spring fast approaching, citizens would like to burn off their Bermuda grass lawns to make them grow better. However, Alamogordo City Ordinance 12-01-020 regulates open burning within the city of Alamogordo. If you wish to burn your lawn, you must first apply for a burn permit with Alamogordo Fire Department. You can apply for this burn permit at 619 Texas Avenue, Monday through Friday, 8 to 5, or give us a call at 575-439-4298 for more specific questions.
News from around the state in just a moment. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
Directory Plus is the right size book. It's the book if you need a phone book.
That's what just one person has to say about Directory Plus. With its red cover, features, colorful yellow pages, and lots more, it's no wonder people all over use Directory Plus.
It has so much more information. You can cross-check phone numbers or addresses or pretty much anything. Look on the plus side,
Directory Plus. I'm a big fan of Directory Plus.
Local news from local perspectives, from local voices. AlamogordoTownNews.com. Local sports, local events, and local happenings, and more. Owned and operated by Second Life Media. We are Otero County. AlamogordoTownNews.com. Heard daily on Crazy KALH Radio 95.1.
The body of 34-year-old Matthew Villarreal was found on March 4th in a field south of Roswell. Villarreal had been missing and last seen on February 22nd. Police say Villarreal was last seen leaving his mother's home and had not responded to multiple attempts by his mother or girlfriend to get in contact with him. The Chaves County Sheriff's Office will be handling the investigation. No other details are known at this time. Albuquerque City Councilors voted against a plan to have a task force investigate a crash involving Albuquerque Police Chief Harold Medina. Some critics, like City Councilor Renee Grout, are not feeling great about this decision.
I don't think that it would hurt to have this outside investigation. I think it would help the community have better trust and our APD force and the whole community as a whole.
Grout speaking with KOAT.
I would hope that there is no bias, but it appears like there possibly could be.
Of course there's a bias. Those who felt one way were biased towards one belief. And those who felt the other way are biased the other direction. You're just mad because more people weren't biased towards your cause. She and 3 others voted for an outside task force to investigate Medina. The Office of the Superintendent of Police Reform, an organization independent of the Chief of Police, will be handling that investigation. The Governor's Veterans Advisory Council will host their next quarterly meeting on March 13th.
The 13th over at the State Veterans Home, yes, sir.
Ray Diva speaking with Crazy Radio. And the Veterans Home in Truth or Consequences is located at 992 South Broadway. The meeting will be at 9 a.m. The council is made up of veterans and individuals with expertise in veterans issues.
They set the agenda. You know, they're all appointed by the governor, and they work independently of us. And then whatever it is their findings, they will then present to us to help us do our job better, basically.
Veterans, family members, and the public are invited to attend to provide input. More information is available by calling 505-362-6089. New Mexico Trinity nuclear bomb test victims are going to be represented at the upcoming State of the Union speech. Ahead of a Senate vote on the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act, U.S. Senator Ben Ray Lujan announced that Tina Cordova, the co-founder of the Tularosa Basin Downwinders Consortium, will be his guest for President Biden's State of the Union address.
I have been working for 19 years to bring attention to the negative health effects suffered by the people of New Mexico as a result of being overexposed to radiation from the Trinity test. People in New Mexico have been suffering and dying for, it'll be 79 years this year, without any kind of recognition, acknowledgement, or compensation, while the U.S. government for 34 years has had a fund set up that has been compensating people in other places who are referred to as downwinders, just hasn't been taking care of us. Because of that work, Senator Lujan has invited me to come to D.C. because over the last year, we've gained as much attention and traction as we've ever had in all the years I've been working on this.
Cordova speaking with Crazy Radio.
This is an incredible opportunity to speak about the Radiation Exposure Compensation Act with anybody who will listen, members of Congress as an example, the president if there's a possibility for that, to speak to them about this, lobby them for this, and get support so that we can finally bring justice back to the people of New Mexico who've been ignored for 79 years.
Cordova went on to tell me that they now have the number of needed votes to push this through, so perhaps this wrong can finally be righted. You can hear this interview in its entirety on the Crazy Radio YouTube channel. On Monday, Governor Michelle Lujan Grisham signed 4 bills lawmakers passed as part of her public safety priority for this year's legislative session. 2 were related to gun control, 2 others focused on keeping more people deemed dangerous off the streets. The governor signed the bills at West Mesa High School in Albuquerque, where a 14-year-old was shot and killed by another student back in 2022. The setting made quite the photo op, as the kids in attendance surrounded her in T-shirts reading, "Students Demand Action." The governor told the students in attendance that policymakers and school administrators need to come together to prevent gun violence.
And demand that this isn't how we want to live anymore. So we're going to get upstream and prevent it. But until we get there, you deserve our attention to make sure that you get everything that you're supposed to get out of school.
Despite the 4 new laws, the governor says she's going to continue fighting for more, possibly even before lawmakers are set to reconvene next year.
I'm still leaning on calling a special session.
But if she did, she said her priority would be to resurrect 2 failed bills in particular, criminalizing certain solicitations characterized as aggressive. The other is going to rework how a defendant is deemed competent to stand trial. If a person were evaluated to be both incompetent and dangerous, they would be ordered into behavioral health treatment. But she isn't done. Yesterday, she signed stricter regulations on gasoline and fuels used for transportation, House Bill 41. The law sets the state's Environmental Improvement Board and creates rules around the carbon intensity of fuels. Advocates say the new law will help New Mexico reach its climate goals. Opponents say it's going to raise gas prices. Obviously, the powers that be couldn't care less if you can afford gasoline, because sooner or later, you're going to be forced to buy an electric vehicle, one you probably can't afford either, and with the increase to your electric bill, making it even more expensive. But will this end pollution? Nope. Not unless all coal plants are shut down. And I don't mean just in New Mexico or in the United States. What about China and India? But if they do shut them down here in the States, that's going to lead to a strain on the power grid like nothing before. Plus, several media outlets have been screaming for over a year now that EV tires wear down fast, and that creates tire pollution, otherwise known as tire and road wear particles. You see, tires shed tiny particles with every rotation. That's why they wear down. It happens more dramatically during rapid acceleration, braking, and sharp turns. But even the most conservative driving practices, particulate pollution is unavoidable. It's a consequence of using a car. A single car will shed nearly 9 pounds of tire weight per year. What many experts are warning is the problem is going to get worse as drivers transition to electric vehicles. Consider the added weight of an EV. It's about 1,000 more pounds to a mid-sized vehicle. That increases tire wear by about 20%, which in turn will generate 26% more pollution. But what do I know? I'm just a loud mouth behind the microphone. Sports and weather are next. This is Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.
They are role models and educators. Their work requires a great deal of time and energy for very little pay. Who are these unsung heroes?
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
The simple truth about education-based athletics in New Mexico is this. Without a committed team of coaches and administrators, that just wouldn't be possible. School sports, they bring out the best in all of us. This message presented by the New Mexico Activities Association and the New Mexico Athletic Directors Association.
There are 4 games for New Mexico softball today. All of those are up north, and no baseball today. Your Crazy Radio spot on weather forecast for the Tularosa Basin today calls for mostly cloudy skies today and tonight, mostly sunny tomorrow with winds gusting as high as 37 miles per hour. Your high today in the basin, 67, low tonight of 45, high tomorrow, 64 degrees. In Cloudcroft, partly sunny skies today, winds gusting as high as 28 miles per hour, mostly cloudy tonight, winds gusting as high as 30, mostly sunny tomorrow, winds are going to be gusting as high as 47. Your high today in Cloudcroft, 46, low tonight of 32, high tomorrow 41 degrees. Local breaking news can be found on our website, alamogordotownnews.com, and learn more about Crazy Radio by visiting kalhradio.org. Also, check out the Crazy KALH Radio YouTube channel. That's where we post our daily newscasts, complete interviews, and other information which concerns everyone in the Tularosa Basin. Be sure to give this video a like and subscribe to our channel if you've not done so already. That way you too can remain informed of the goings-on in the Tularosa Basin. Well, that concludes today's edition of Alamogordo Town News on Crazy Radio. I'm Anthony Lucero.